movie trivia. And gosh, am I the youngest person in this room? No, Jared is. I was like, oh my gosh, how'd that happen? Okay, Jared might not know this one, but everyone else is going to know this movie. It came out in 1956. Travis, Arliss, and Katie find and adopt a yellow Labrador Retriever. What movie?
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller, yes, Old Yeller. Good job. So I'm teaching about friendship, and I was trying to think. I actually was at the pool writing. I've been taking my phone and my little keyboard to the pool, and I write sermons at the pool so I can get sun and also write sermons. So I was trying to think of a really great story of a committed friend, and I started thinking about a dog, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I both loved and hated this movie as a child. I loved it, and it wrecks me. Because if you've seen this movie, it's like every other dog movie that's named after the dog, you know how it's going to end. Like, never watch a dog movie named after the dog, because you know how it's going to end. So in Old Yeller, since that came out 60 years ago, 60, it's just crazy to think. I'm going to review it for you. So this family they're living on this farm, and this dog keeps coming and stealing like stuff from them. He's like eating their chickens or whatever. And so Travis, the older son, keeps trying to shoo it away, and little Arliss is the younger son, and he's like, no, he should be our friend. And they, so there's this kind of battle of what to do with the dog. Well, one day they're out, I think it's Travis and Arliss are out, and a bear comes along. And Old Yeller comes and scares off the bear. So then Travis is like, okay, like the dog can stay. So they kind of adopt the dog, and the dog is living with them. And multiple times the dog comes through for the family. One time Travis is sitting in a tree. He's trying to wrestle. I don't know why he's trying to capture a hog. Probably because he's like 11, and that's what 11-year-olds do. And he's trying to capture this hog, and he falls, and all the hogs are like attacking him. So he's like, Yeller. And the dog comes and like battles off all the hogs, and the dog gets injured, and he comes to save him. A few times the dog comes to rescue them. Well, towards the end of the movie, there's word that rabies is kind of going around in the countryside. And their cow starts like foaming at the mouth and falls down, and the mom's like, oh, the cow has rabies. So they burn the cow for safety, right? Well, while they're burning the cow, a wolf comes and starts attacking. Wolf comes out, and Old Yeller once again rushes in to save the family. Here's the scene. A good friend lays down their life for their friends. And we know this because that's what Jesus told us. Jesus didn't just teach us about God, and he did. He did that. But Jesus taught us about so much. And one thing Jesus specifically both modeled and spoke about was friendship. If you look at Jesus' ministry, how did Jesus go about his ministry? Jesus didn't just show up at synagogue on Sundays and spit some knowledge. Jesus traveled around, and he found friends. He had 12 good friends and more, because there are some of the Marys and other women that traveled with him. But then he had 3 best friends. They talk about how at times Jesus would be like, James, John, and Peter, come with me. Jesus understood about friendship. And Jesus also understood that friendship costs. And that's an art I think we've lost in this world. I think we forget that friendship should cost something. And Jesus, so this is what he specifically is talking to his disciples about friendship. And this is what he says in John 15. He says, as the Father has loved me, so I love you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands, and I remain in his love. I've told you this so that my joy will be in you and that your joy will be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends. If you do what I command, you are my friends. And I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I call you my friends. For everything that I've learned from my Father, I have made known to you. You didn't choose me, but I chose you. I've appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, and so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. This is my command, love each other. Jesus is saying, you want to be in the Father's love? Then you've got to be a friend. Like the Father loved me and I'm in him, and he's in me, and now I'm in you because you're my friend. You're not my servant. You're not my hireling. You know, a hireling's not going to put forth their life for somebody. A friend does that. A family member does that. And I think in our culture, we become this culture where friendship is this quid pro quo. I'll be your friend so long as it's convenient. I'll be your friend so long as you're giving me back what, you know, the equal amount that I'm giving to you. We become a society where, like, we, you know, in Facebook, we say, I've got friends on Facebook. Well, I have over 1,000 friends on Facebook, but I would not lay down my life or lend money to those 1,000 people. I think they should rename what they have on Facebook to acquaintances. Although, like, do you want to acquaintance me doesn't quite have the same ring to it as do you want to friend me. But I think our culture has sold us this idea that that's what friendship is. Society has sold us this idea that friendship is, we've met a few times, we get along, now we're friends. And there's a place for that. I'm not saying that's bad, but a true friend is like Old Yeller. A true friend is willing to lay down their life for you. And in our culture, like, it's not often that I'm going to get to, like, physically die for somebody. But we die in little ways all the time. It might be something slight as, like, I hate Mexican, but my friend loves it, so I go eat Mexican. It might be, like, small things. And it might be big things. For example, I've got two really good friends that I'm going to talk about. My friend Jill. Jill hates DIY projects. She does not like getting dirty kind of work. She just doesn't like it. I like it. I like getting my hands dirty and building stuff. And, you know, I like ripping out carpet and that kind of stuff. So when I was moving, she came and helped me grout my kitchen floor. When I bought my Ludlow house, she came and helped rip nails and rip carpet out. She would come 2 or 3 nights a week and stay till 10 o'clock at night, getting all allergy because it was dusty and dirty and helping me do stuff like that. She hates doing that kind of stuff. But she was laying down her life in that moment for me because I needed help getting my house ready so I could move. That is true friendship. Another one of my friends, Jody, when I threw out my back, at 2 in the morning, I called her. She got out of bed, and she came, and she pulled me out of bed. I didn't want to call the EMTs because I probably taught them, and I'm in my, like, pajamas, and I just didn't want, like, them to have to come in my house, you know, and give them the code to my house. So I called my friend Jody, and at 2 in the morning, she got out of bed, and she came, and she drove me to the ER. She was laying down her life for me in that moment. That's what real friendship looks like. It's laying down your life for other people, just like Jesus did. Jesus laid down his life for us, for his friends. Jesus gave up a life, a long, happy family life that was like what I would imagine most people want. He gave that up for us, and he gave that up for his guys, and then they gave it up for their friends. One of the apostles sold Jesus out. He committed suicide. So of the remaining 11, 10 of them died for Jesus' message. 10 of them were able to give up their lives for Jesus. And that's just amazing to me. That is a true testimony of friendship. That they were willing to give up their lives, and they demonstrate that. So my question to us is, do you have friends? Like, I think of, like, when I was a teenager and in my 20s, they had Cosmopolitan quizzes. In Cosmopolitan, like, you would take all these quizzes. If you were to take a friendship quiz, well, how would you score? And we all want to say we score well, but really, would you? Are you willing to lay down your life for your friends? Do you have any friends in our church community that you're good enough friends with that you would lay down your life? That you would go garden if you hate gardening? That you would get up at 2 in the morning and take them to the ER? That you would stand between a bear and them to like, would you run slow so the bear gets you? Whatever. So your challenge this week is to ask yourself to take stock really and truly of your friendship abilities and to think about in this church body, is there someone in this church body that you are close enough with that you would lay down your life for them in whatever small ways there are? Because that is how we bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. And all of God's people said,